Hey everyone. So in this video, um I'm talking about some iPad kids. Yeah, some iPad kids that are out of control and they just wanted an iPad, but their parents say, "Sorry, you cannot have an iPad because it's gone. It went bye-bye. Gone forever." And some kids need an iPad and they were just thrown a fit. But they just have a fit over it, and it was so embarrassing. And some iPad kids, and guess what? Even at school, the kids have iPads at school, and they do not do their work, and the iPad kids cannot do normal handwriting as children, or children cannot spell a word correctly, but these cannot spell a word correctly because even though some iPad kids they are out of control, yet these iPad kids are out of control. And then oh my gosh, maybe they have anxiety like future doctors, future nurses, future workers. Please. They just really do that. So I bet um those iPad kids, the iPad kids who does not have an iPad, um, they just wanted to do chores. And and then the mother told the iPad kids, "Why don't you put up the dry dishes, wash the dishes, clean up the kitchen, clean up a table, and clean up the living room? And why don't you help me like clean up my bedroom, bathroom, and then you can go clean your room?" And then the iPad kids they're like, okay. Yeah, the iPad kids they're like, okay. And after they do the chores, they clean their room, and after they just clean their room, they want to ask mom for an iPad, but the mom says, "Sorry kids, the iPads are too expensive. Why don't you go and watch TV? Like, why don't you watch some TV shows while I'm saving money for iPads?" And the children said, oh my gosh, okay, you can save money for iPads. So they say, okay. And then and as they watch TV after doing the chores, they know that their mother was saving money for the iPads for her children. But can't you imagine? Those iPad kids are out of control. They just wanted to do that, but for other kids who wanted an iPad, they were just like throwing a tantrum. Yes, they do because they throw a tantrum, and then they were screaming, "I just wanted an iPad!" And then they really said, no, because they're too expensive, because we need to save money, and that is it. That is so it. Like, oh my gosh, okay. Alright. Alright, that's it. I really do that. I can really do that. Because if I cannot afford the kids an iPad, they will be super duper crazy. Yeah, those out of control kids wanted an iPad, but their parents said no. And then imagine that the parents could tell the kids to even like um go clean their room. Yeah, they tell the kids go clean their room. Like, guess what? Go to your room and clean up. Like, guess what they say? Clean up your room. And then the kids are gonna tell parents, like, the out of control kids told their parents no, no, and shut up. And they're like, no, shut up. And the parents look very, very confused. And then they looked at them and then said, what the world did you say? This look, this confused look on her face, and then transformed into a different human being. And then he said, and they say, and he said, kids, what did you say? And then the kids, they're like, no, shut up. We want iPads. We don't want to clean our damn room. And then the parents, yeah, they are like, um, they're like, okay, kids, that's it. You're grounded. Go, go and clean your room. And then, and the kid's like, it's not fair. I know this is out of control. First, before they clean their room, they will think about of what they even did was wrong, and then they will just clean their room. And after they clean their room, they sit about and discuss of what they have done, and what did they say to their parents was completely wrong. And if the kids are saying bad words, like if the iPad kids are saying bad words, they will have their iPad taken away and they are going to be grounded. Let's say maybe 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. Alright, so if you have a kid who is addicted to an iPad, um, tell them to do something to help them. But tell them to do something to help you. If you have a kid of your own, and if the kids tell you no, no, and shut up, and then And if the kids told you no and shut up, um, you will put them on a timeout step, or a timeout corner, or a timeout chair. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do. Alright, I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you so much for watching.